Can you grace us with your presents? Thank you so much. Okay, bye. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, then hi. My name is Vivian and I share food and style inspo as well as weekly vlogs, but today I'm going to share something a little bit different. I'm finally sharing my first part of the bridal series. So in this series, you can expect to find all of the details for our wedding events, but I thought it'd be fun to start off with maybe sharing a little bit of our story with you guys first. Let's see how this goes. Ooh, cat hair. So without further ado, let's, I guess, tell you our story. I guess we'll just start from the very beginning. So Wes and I actually met at like our church summer camp. So yeah, we used to be like church kids, but when I was entering 6th grade, so when I was about to turn 11, and then when he was gonna be a freshman in high school, so when he was like 14. But we have like definitely an enemies to lovers trope story. We were put in the same summer camp group, and this camp, it's like ages range from like 3rd grade all the way up to like a senior in high school. So I was about to enter middle school and he's about to enter high school, so you know when you're young and the age difference apparently is just like so big. He was just like treating me like a little kid basically, and then I remember I was just like, why are you acting like you're an adult? You're like not a counselor, you're just another camper. So yeah, it was just like so stupid. But from then on we just like did not like each other. But we didn't interact either because he was in the high school group and I was in the middle school group, so we didn't really interact until I was a freshman in high school, and then he was a senior in high school. So apparently he had a little crush on me then, but he's like very proper, very just like, I don't know if by the book is the right word, but he was 18 and I'm 14, I think, or something like that. And he was just like, I can't date her because I'm 18. So here's like a little photo that I have of us in high school. This had to have been that year because we were only in high school 1 year together because I was a freshman and he was a senior. So this was during Halloween. He kind of like avoided me and like we didn't really hang out that much in high school. There are like little moments that we've had where like we went on like a retreat to Big Bear with the high school group, and there was one morning we were like the first 2 people awake, and he's a really good piano player, so he would like just like plays songs, like the whole politeness and being proper and just like very gentlemanly. Like he had that side to him throughout like the school year. I remember he read this really weird like cadaver book. This is after the retreat. I like saw him reading this book, and then I went and got that book and just like casually was reading it, like stuff like that. I need to find that book because I want to use it as one of our props for our elopement shoot. I need to find it because I still have that book. Yeah, so it's like little things like that. I feel like we liked each other for a really long time. So he graduates high school and I'm still in high school, and we kind of like go do our separate thing. And then we don't reconnect until when I was a freshman in college. And so by this point I'm like, what, 18? He's like 20, 21. When we really started getting close was when I was 18, he was around like 20, 21. Around like winter time, I want to say, like it was March, I think. Wes was helping out teaching the middle school kids. So they also have a retreat every year. So like the retreat that I told you we went on, like the high schoolers trip, the middle schoolers go on one and the high schoolers go on one too every year. So that's kind of like a fun thing that like the older kids get to do. And he asked me if I wanted to help out at the middle school retreat because they needed more girl counselors. But this trip was really important because this trip just, I think, solidified for me like, oh no, I do like him. He had like shared a story with the group about like just his life and everything, and just like without getting into too much of his personal story, when Wes told his story and like shared what happened in his life, it made me feel so bad for him. Like everyone in the whole room, like the kids, the teachers, everyone, we were like sobbing. I think looking at Wes, he will never let you know that he's struggling. I just respected him so much. Like here I am kind of like complaining about my life when like I know you're not supposed to compare, but just like objectively, I feel like he's been through so much worse than me, but he has such a better attitude. But yeah, that trip was really important because it just, I think, solidified for me too, like, oh my god, no, I really like this guy. Like I was going back and forth. And I remember when I came back from the trip, I think the first thing that I said, like my sister and I shared a room like our whole life. So I remember when I came back home, on Sunday, I just like dropped my bags and I was like, oh my god, I think I like Wesley. And then she was like, okay, finally. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you've been going back and forth on this for like the past few months. He's not like a brother because we weren't that close, but still, just like growing up together, like I've known him since I was 11, like it's just so integrated and stuff. And like, if I like him, what am I gonna do about that? I've liked other guys at school before, and it's not like all of those turn into something, but I don't know, I just had this sense, it's like really weird, like I had this sense from the very beginning, even in high school when we had that little moment at the retreat and I would like think, what would it be like to be with him? I think like I always knew with Wes, he's one of those guys that's like, he doesn't just date around. For him, like if he dates someone, they're like the one, or very serious. But finally, like one day, it just like came up, I think. Let's say I didn't like Wesley. I would feel so awkward that he likes me. Like, could we be friends? I probably would just like want to part ways. So he's over here thinking like he's losing me as a friend and everything. And then I'm trying to discern like, wait, hold on. He like spat it out. He's like, I like you. And then I remember we were in the car and I remember like opening the door and he thought I was gonna leave, but I just needed air. But I remember looking up at the sky and it was like the stars, it was spinning. I just had this sense of like, everything is about to change. I don't know, I just had this sense that this was gonna be, if not it, then this was gonna be a big thing. I didn't know yet if this was gonna be it, but I knew it was gonna be serious. But not in a bad way though. It was just like, it just felt overwhelming. And I remember it was just all these thoughts, it's like a million at once, and it was just like the stars were spinning. And I remember just like closing the door and I was just like, okay, well like, just so you know, you don't have to worry because like I like you too. And then we just had the conversation. It was just like, oh, okay. So much life obviously has happened since then. Maybe I'll do another video on like our whole relationship and stuff. I don't know if you guys are interested though, but our relationship, I will say, like I'm giving you guys all the highlights now, but I also want to be really real with you guys. I kind of alluded to it, right? Like me having a little bit of like a bratty whatever personality and like having these issues, like that doesn't really translate well necessarily into like a long-term healthy relationship. So I just want to preface that by saying like right now it's all happy and giddy, yay, we're talking about the bridal events, but like I also don't want to mislead people. And if there's anyone younger watching out there or is anyone in like a long-term relationship who's struggling right now, I also just want to point out that we have had our times. If you guys have ever seen Kristen Bell explain how her relationship is with Dax Shepard, oh god, I probably should look up if they're still married or not, but the way that she described their relationship, I related so much to that. How like she would just be like willing to just like walk out, and she wasn't dealing with things like the healthiest way in the relationship. And obviously there's reasons why, but at the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact that I'm emotionally kind of like using him as a punching bag, and like I feel like he really carried the relationship for like the first few years. And there were times where it got like, you know, I feel like everyone goes through that during like maybe after like the honeymoon phase, maybe at like the 5-year mark, like it can get really hard. It's just taken us a really, really long time to like get to where we are now. And we moved out together in 2020 and we decided to get married, like just get legally married. And I'm looking over at this dining room table right now because we did it during 2020. They were doing everything like expedited because like the registrar's office wasn't even open. So we just did like a 15-minute Zoom meeting where like everything was signed there, like license, certificate, got married. The guy was like really funny, the officiant. I think he like wanted to make it special, so he was like, all right, like turn to each other and like hold your hands. But like the way that our table is like against our kitchen counter, it's like kind of a tight squeeze. So we're just like just like turning our chairs and like holding each other's hands like this. But it was still cute. And for the longest time I wanted like our anniversary to be the same. So I was thinking like the next year that our dating anniversary is on a Saturday is 2024. So for the longest time I was planning to like do everything in 2024, but like I said in I think in the engagement video, my passport was expiring in March of 2023, and by this point we're like already legally married. I had planned to change my name, but I just did not realize that my passport was expiring. So back in December, I started the process of like changing, you know, all things. Like, let's just do everything now. So we've had the ring for a while, but then It was also kind of crazy this year too because Wes was working a lot, but he took me over to the Temecula Canyon Trail. So I'll link that vlog down in the description box so you guys can watch it. But he took me over to the trail and then he got down on one knee and proposed, but proposed like with air quotes because we're already married. Like he addressed me as like Vivian Hannah Son. But yeah, that's our story. We are well, technically it's not until July, but we are in the month of our elopement shoot. So I don't know if you can get the sense from us that like even though I like put myself out there on YouTube and whatever socials, I'm still a very like private person, meaning like I want to have that moment where I say my vows to Wes, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to like say it in front of like my friends and family. I just feel like I'm not going to be able to like pour my heart out. So we've decided to split up our events this year. So you know, at a wedding you go to the ceremony and then you celebrate at the reception. We're still kind of doing that, but like splitting it up. So I'm gonna have my like combined birthday bachelorette will be at the end of the month, and then literally like a couple days, like a few days later in July will be our elopement shoot. So I'm calling it that just because like I feel like eloping, like, isn't that where you don't literally tell anyone? And back when we got married in 2020, we still like told like our close friends and obviously immediate family. So I don't really feel like I mean, maybe that is still eloping because you're not having them there and you're just letting them know. We're not having a wedding. So this shoot that we're doing is essentially our wedding. So there will be aspects of a wedding that I want, but then in October, that is when we will pick up again, probably like late September. I'll pick up again and share our details for our reception dinner. That's what I mean when I say I'm breaking up a traditional wedding into two parts. Like the ceremony will just be private with Wes and I in the summertime, and then the reception dinner in October, that will be when we can celebrate with our friends and family, because as much as I value like our privacy and having it be our moment, and like yes, like a wedding should be just for us, I do also just want to give our parents especially that moment. We are gonna have like our immediate family and close friends come to a dinner. Our marriage anniversary is in October, so that's why I picked like the closest weekend in October. And I'll share more obviously in the video, and you'll see everything in the vlog later on in like late September. But we chose Temecula. I'm pretty sure you guys would have guessed because I feel like I've been going to Temecula a lot recently if you guys have seen my vlogs. So yeah, we were kind of venue scouting when we were going to those places, but Temecula is actually where the summer camp was, where Wes and I first met. So that's why I wanted to pick a winery in Temecula or just something in Temecula, because that's like literally where we met and where we would go like every year and do summer camp together. I used to be the summer camp director and he was the MC, so like we did that for a long time together. So like Temecula just has like a lot of really good memories for us, so that'll be really fun just to be in the area. It's not the same, it's like in a different part of Temecula, like this is more in like the wine countryside, but still it's like a nice little nod to where we first met. So this was the official part 1 of the bridal series. The next video will be talking through the birthday batch. So I'll be sharing all the details. I'll have like little photos and like I'll share the little like infographic that I made for like our little itinerary, which is really cute. So I'll kind of walk through everything so that if you want to plan a like birthday bachelorette. I'm doing like a coastal resort like with a spa, so if that's your vibe where you like to go like on hikes and be by the pool and go to the spa, then this might be right up your alley. So be on the lookout for that video coming out next week. But for now, thank you guys so much for sticking around. I know this is kind of like a longer video with a lot of talking, so thank you so much for sticking around. And as always, please subscribe if you guys like what you see and hit that notification bell so you don't miss an upload. But until next time, I am just gonna, I guess, just do some more work, edit this video, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!